Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Patreon podcast. This week I wanted to talk about being bored and how it's actually probably one of the best things you can do from time to time. There's really a couple facets to this. The first one is that if you don't have anything going on, I feel like you have a more attuned sense to things that you want to be doing. So, like, if you have nothing going on, you might have a sudden urge to start working on a game or start working on a song idea that you've had in the back of your head for a long time. It's a good way of resurfacing various ideas that may have been laying dormant for a long time. Another really good way that being bored helps is that it helps kind of get rid of some of that burnout feeling. Not necessarily all of it, but it definitely assists with that. It allows you to essentially kind of decompress and allow your brain to relax a little bit, and it gives you that opportunity to just chill out and take a breather between projects. And I think really the third thing, and one of the main things for me, is that being bored helps. One of my friends talks about this, a detox from dopamine, where if you are doing everything you want all the time, like things become plain, and it sounds kind of counterintuitive, but I've found that there are times where if I force myself to do boring things, whether that's just sitting outside or if it's just like reading, but things that are very low impact, things that aren't like, watching a video and working on something and doing multiple things at the same time, having the ability to just kind of not do anything, really helps when it comes to kind of slowing down, and when you slow down, you're able to kind of view things in a more aggregate sense. And I think that it's really important to do. So one of the things that I realized recently is that I've been forced back into the office, which sucks, but it does give me the opportunity to be bored much more frequently, because all of a sudden I don't have the ability to sit at my desk at home with my personal computer while I have my laptop on the side while I'm kind of doing both things at the same time. And that's overwhelming, and that's a lot. And it kind of, at the end of the work day, I don't really have much energy to do anything else because I've been active for so long, and I've been active, but I haven't really been doing anything because I've been focusing on my day job and making sure that I don't miss anything there. And then I've also been like trying to work on music, or I've been trying to work on games or do, whatever. So at the end of the day, I don't have any like motivation to actually work on the personal projects because I've been like active and running around doing too many things all day. Whereas if I go into the office, I don't have the ability to multitask. Like, I focus on the work that I have, and then when that work is done, I either do like kind of light learning stuff, or I just kind of mess around with other small projects. And by the end of the day, I have this to-do list that I'm very excited to do when I get home because it's not work related. It's usually like related to, home improvements or working on a particular project creatively. And I think that that's just really, that separation is really important. And that's one of the very, very few positives that I have about going into the office. And to be fair, if I had better self-restraint at home, I could create that same system where I basically force myself to do, specifically office work at home. And then, when I'm done with that, then I can go on and do other things. But this house is small, and I don't really have a good place to set up an office that isn't another room already. So I don't really have a good option there. But yeah, I really wanted to talk about this because I think that being bored is a really valuable asset. Because like I said, like at the start of this, like it is a good way of clearing out your brain and actually prioritizing the things that you want to be doing. Because it's very easy to fall into that trap where it's like, well, I'm working on this, so I'm just got to keep working on this forever. And that's not really the case. You can be flexible and dynamic with how you approach things, and being bored gives you that opportunity to try new things. And like my favorite way of being bored is to just sit outside, to not really do anything. It's not really meditating as much as it is just kind of sitting outside and looking at nature, or watching like the wind ripple through the grass or the trees or whatever. And I think that there's a lot of really calming things that happen when you're bored. And I think that that's also important too. But it's important to look into that a little bit and give it a try. I think that it's really valuable, and it's worth exploring. If you're feeling a little overwhelmed right now, it might be something to look into. So, well, there's my meeting. So I don't know if you heard that. But I'm going to get going. So thank you guys so much for listening, and thank you so much for being a Patreon supporter. I really genuinely do appreciate it. I hope that you have a fantastic Friday and a wonderful weekend, and hopefully you get a little bored this weekend. Give it a try. I'll talk to you in the next one. Be remarkable.